Emily stood alone in the bridal suite at Willamette Valley Vineyard, staring at her reflection. The dress fit perfectly, every bead and seam in place. The makeup artist had worked magic, her eyes brighter, lips soft rose, cheekbones sharp. White roses waited on the vanity beside her phone. She checked it again, no message from Mom, none from Dad, nothing from Noah. A knock broke the silence. "It's time, Emily," said Grace, the wedding planner, forcing a smile. Emily's eyes drifted to the window. 90 guests, white chairs, music playing, 3 empty seats in the front row. "They're not coming, are they?" she whispered. Grace hesitated. "There's still time." A lie wrapped in kindness. Emily inhaled slowly, smoothed her gown, and walked toward the garden doors. As they opened, 100 eyes turned. Whispers flickered like wind. Pity brushed her skin. She fixed her eyes on Daniel at the altar, his steady gaze anchoring her against the ache of absence. Daniel's eyes held hers as she walked the aisle alone. "I'm here," he whispered when she reached him. The warmth of his hand steadied her heartbeat. "Will be enough," he added, voice soft. Emily blinked back tears. A flash of memory stung. Her childhood living room, Noah's debate trophy gleaming on the mantel. Her art certificate sat forgotten in a drawer. "That's nice, honey," her mother had said over a pot of stew. Her father barely glanced up. "Your brother needs support. He's going places." Back then, she promised herself she'd make them proud. Now, the officiant's words pulled her back. "Do you take this man?" "I do," she said, clear and calm. When they kissed, applause rippled through the garden. But even as Daniel held her hand, her mind whispered the truth. She was marrying the only person who had ever really seen her. After the ceremony, Daniel's mother hugged her tightly. "You're one of us now," she said. Something inside Emily softened. The photographer captured them under glowing string lights, laughter circling around like music. For fleeting minutes, she forgot the empty seats. At the toast, her best friend Jenna lifted her glass. "To finding the family that deserves you," Jenna said fiercely. Guests murmured in agreement. The words hit Emily's heart like a revelation. Later, in a quiet hallway, she checked her phone again. Still nothing. Daniel found her staring at the screen. "They missed something beautiful today," he said, slipping an arm around her. "They did," she whispered. She looked at his face, at the steady kindness that had never made her beg for love. "Let's go," he smiled. "They're cutting the cake." Emily followed him back into the lights, a smile flickering through the ache that refused to leave. 2 years later, Emily sat in her glass-walled office, staring at her computer screen. Acquisition of Northlight Studio finalized at $21 million. The words shimmered. Her team burst in with champagne and plastic glasses. "To Emily Hart," cried Jen, her creative director. "The woman who built an empire, while some people never noticed." They laughed. Emily raised her glass, smiling. Then her phone buzzed, Noah's Instagram. Against her better judgment, she opened it. Mom and Dad stood beside Noah and his wife, Hannah, at a private school fundraiser. Their twins beamed in matching plaid. Caption: "Family tradition continues." Swipe: "Hawaii vacation." Swipe: "Christmas gathering." Swipe: "Dad's retirement party." Emily's heart tightened. She wasn't in a single frame. "Emily," Jen asked gently, "you okay?" Emily locked her screen. "Just fine," she said, though her chest ached. "Let's celebrate." But as laughter filled the room, silence filled her mind. That night, Emily scrolled through her parents' accounts. Post after post, Noah's successes, Hannah's photos, the twins' birthdays. Her name appeared once in a lazy, happy birthday. She closed the laptop and made a decision. The Porsche. Chalk gray, she told her financial advisor the next morning. "I'll take it today." 3 hours later, she signed the papers. It was extravagant, unnecessary, and entirely hers. She took a photo of the car in her driveway, sunlight gleaming off the hood. Caption: "Dreams realized." 3 days passed in silence. Then her phone lit up. "Mom calling." Emily hesitated, then answered. "Family meeting tomorrow. Mom said briskly. A meeting? After 5 years of silence. It's important, Mom replied. Dad's voice floated through. Tell her it's important. What's important? Emily asked. My wedding wasn't. My business wasn't. Financial matters, her mother said. We need to talk. Emily exhaled.
Fine.
Tomorrow at 2. The next afternoon, Emily drove to her childhood home, nerves steady. The Porsche gleamed against the familiar white columns. Her phone buzzed. Daniel, remember who you are? She smiled faintly. Another message, from Olivia, her first investor. Your worth isn't measured by who can't see it. She parked and stepped out. The door opened before she could knock. Her parents stood frozen, their eyes darting to the car. You've done well, her father said instead of hello. Yes, she replied evenly. They led her to the dining room. Noah and Hannah were already seated, faces carefully composed. Let's begin, her father said, sliding folders across the table. Emily didn't sit. No, she said. First, tell me why I'm suddenly part of this family after being ignored for years. Mom shifted in her chair. We'll discuss that later. We have urgent matters now. Emily folded her arms. I'm not available for emergencies that appear only when you need money. Her father sighed. It's foreclosure, Emily. Noah's mortgage is behind. The twins' tuition is unpaid. Emily stayed silent. He pushed a document toward her. We just need a small loan. Think of the children, her mother pleaded. They shouldn't suffer. Noah leaned forward. We're family. When one succeeds, we help each other. Hannah opened a photo album. They ask about you all the time, she said softly. Pictures of smiling twins filled the pages. Birthdays Emily hadn't been invited to. Emily closed the album and slid it back. Where were you at my wedding? She asked. Noah blinked. We were busy. My firm had an event. It wasn't convenient, Dad added. She laughed quietly. Of course. The sound wasn't joy. It was disbelief made of steel. Now you're here because you saw the Porsche, she said. No one replied. Let's stop pretending. You always have to make everything dramatic, Noah said sharply. You think you're better than us. Emily leaned forward. No, I think I stopped begging for scraps. Her father frowned. This isn't about the past. It's exactly about the past, she replied. Tell me why I should write a check. Noah slammed his hand on the table. You've always had to prove something. Some of us just want normal lives. Her father rested a hand on his shoulder. We had to nurture Noah's potential. You were independent. Translation, Emily said softly. You didn't bother. Her mother's eyes welled up. We're still your parents. Emily tapped the table gently. You missed my graduation, my company launch, my wedding. You missed my life. Her phone buzzed. Daniel's message, you okay? She smiled faintly. Better than fine, she whispered. Then louder. You don't get to appear now just because you finally noticed the value of what I built. Her father pushed the document closer. Family helps family. The terms are fair. Hannah nodded eagerly. Blood is thicker than water. Emily stood slowly, opening her briefcase. Their eyes followed her hands. She pulled out a single folder and laid it on the table. Here's what I'm actually signing, she said. The Rivera Scholarship Foundation. $16 million for young women in digital media. Noah's jaw dropped. $16 million? Named after Mrs. Rivera, my high school teacher who showed up when my family didn't, Emily said calmly. It's funded and legally protected. Silence filled the room. I'm helping girls who deserve better, she added. She closed the briefcase and lifted her phone, showing the recording app ticking upward. I've documented every guilt trip today, just in case. Noah's chair screeched. You can't walk out. Watch me, she said softly. You should have shown up years ago. The front door closed behind her with the sound of freedom. The Porsche engine purred as she drove away. She called Daniel. It's done. How bad? He asked. Predictable, she said. They were exactly who I remembered. You okay? More than okay, she replied. That night, her phone buzzed with messages. Family emergency, call us now. She flipped it face down. By morning, 6 voicemails waited. Her mother's tone shifted from tearful to furious. "You'll regret this, Emily." "I doubt it," she murmured, brushing on mascara. Daniel looked up from his phone. "Your brother's calling investors." "Let him try," she said. "The foundation's locked." She took a sip of coffee. "They trained me well in handling manipulation." Daniel smiled. "Then this is graduation day." Emily grinned back, light for the first time in weeks. "Exactly." By midweek, her assistant called. "Your family's here at reception," shouting. Emily looked through the glass wall. Her mother waved her arms. Pearls swung wildly. Noah's face glowed red. Security approached. Emily stood, smoothed her suit, and stepped out. "It's handled," she told her team calmly. Security escorted the family away. Noah shouted, "This isn't over." That evening, Emily typed one email. "Any further contact at my office will result in legal action. Personal matters go through my attorney." Dr. Bennett, her therapist, smiled when Emily told her 2 days later. "Direct and clear," she said. "How did it feel?" "Necessary, not satisfying." "Boundaries protect, not punish," Dr. Bennett said. Emily nodded. "They're finally showing who they've always been. I'm just done pretending it's love." "That's progress," the therapist said gently. Seeing truth without flinching. Emily exhaled. "For once, I'm not the one breaking." Noah turned to the media next. The Portland Chronicle ran a feature questioning why the family hadn't attended her wedding. Sympathy tilted toward Emily. Her mother's Facebook rants made it worse. Investors ignored the noise. Foundation applications tripled. The Portland Business Journal called. "Can we interview you?" asked the reporter, Julia Warren. "We'll discuss the scholarship, not family," Emily said. In the interview, Julia asked, "What inspired this foundation?" "A teacher who believed in me," Emily answered. "I want to pass that forward." "And your family?" Julia pressed. Emily met her gaze. They weren't there. The next morning, the headline read, "Self-made founder turns pain into purpose." When news of Noah's foreclosure broke, the public connected the dots. Daniel handled security upgrades. Olivia issued a statement praising Emily's integrity. The story wasn't revenge. It was truth told quietly, finally allowed to breathe. Weeks later, Emily accepted the Women in Media Leadership Award. The hall stood as she walked to the stage. Daniel's eyes shone from the front row. "Thank you," she began. "For years, I measured my worth by the approval I couldn't earn. Now I measure it by what we build together." Applause thundered. At home, boundaries held strong. Aunt Meredith left pleading voicemails. Emails arrived titled "Family must be together." Her parents' pastor called, preaching forgiveness. Even Hannah sent photos of the twins in costumes. "They're framing this like I'm cruel," Emily told Dr. Bennett. "How does that make you feel?" "Angry," she said, "and free." The therapist nodded. "They push hardest when they're losing control." Emily smiled faintly. "Then I must be winning." At the foundation, the committee selected a finalist, Maya Harrison, a 17-year-old filmmaker with quiet eyes. "She reminds me of myself," Emily told Daniel. "Brilliant, unseen, unstoppable." But that night, doubt whispered. "What if I was wrong to cut them off?" Daniel looked at her. "Is setting boundaries running away?" "No," she admitted. "Then what would you tell Maya if her family treated her like yours?" Emily didn't hesitate. "I'd tell her she deserves people who see her worth." Thanksgiving came. Emily hosted dinner for her chosen family, Daniel, Olivia, her team, and Maya. Laughter filled every space. "To those who see us as we are," Emily toasted. Candles flickered. Warmth replaced ghosts. Later, the evening news aired a feature on the foundation. The reporter praised its transparency, subtly contrasting it with Noah's business collapse. "Facts speak louder," Emily murmured, stacking plates with steady hands. "And peace," Daniel added, "is the best revenge." Months later, her parents asked to meet at a cafe downtown. Emily went. Her father looked older, his confidence gone. "We should have been there," he said quietly. At the wedding? She asked. Everywhere. Her mother's eyes shimmered. How do we fix this? Some things can't be fixed, Emily said softly. Only accepted. I'll consider contact if you start therapy. That's unnecessary, her father began. Then this conversation is over. She stood and left them in silence. Outside, she exhaled sunlight. Back at the foundation, Maya adjusted her camera. What do you think of this angle?
Try left a little, Emily said.
Catch the light. Photos of scholarship winners lined the walls, voices that might have been lost. That evening, Emily accepted another award. No empty seats. Only faces that saw her clearly. Driving home through Portland, she passed the cafe. Her parents walked by the window. Their eyes met briefly. No pain, just peace. Emily turned toward tomorrow.